Well, there you are. Hello, everyone. This is our regular Wednesday live, and this is Emilia checking in. If you are here, please give me either some sort of indication that you can see me and hear me, and all that stuff is good, because I will be embarrassed if it is not. What is going on? So, I have so much to talk about, and I'm going to wait a few minutes to let YouTube blast out its thing, and then I'd like to have a chat about what we are going to do coming up in January. Thank you, Tortoise Cashflow, so much. And sir, you're going to have to remind me of your name because I would rather use your name than Tortoise Cashflow if that's okay. But please. Oh, in the chat, I see Jesse and Amal. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen you. So I would love to hear how things are going for you. And there's Jaina. What's going on? So here you can see my chicken scratch to-do list of stuff that I want to talk about today. If you are here already, go over there and whack the thumbs up button, and I think that will help YouTube blast this out and let people know that we are here. Anthony, I will call you Anthony. I like the name Anthony. I do. Jesse says, is everyone happy with December earnings so far? I'm doing like $300 a day lately. I am not making $300 a day, but I can see why you would be happy. I can report, though, that ad revenue across all of my sites that are earning on ads are way up. And so it's pretty exciting to log into Ezoic and like, oh, how did it do today? And I can't believe it's making so much now compared to other times. Hey, Commit, what is going on? Thanks for dropping in. Usually you like fall in like right as we're wrapping up. So it's cool to catch you from the beginning. Hey, Sue, what is going on? I would love to hear so far, Sue, how things are going, jumping into Morton's course. And if you've had a chance to swim around in there a little bit. I noticed that you jumped in on the accountability. So I'm excited to be like going through this with you coming up in January. Let's see, what I'm doing is moving my screens over because I had opened up a bunch of stuff and then, and I want to get to it. Over in the chat, I also see Paul. What is in the mug today? This is coffee. I don't know if you can see it. Today it is coffee. It is definitely not alcohol or wine or anything else, even though sometimes I feel like I could use some, but no, it's just coffee. Adrian, what is up? So real quick, let's just check any questions in the chat or other comments. Tortoise Anthony says December has been great so far, about $20 plus per day, and had first 1,000 session today. To protect your ears, which is great. Adrian, hey, Adrian, I saw that you jumped in on the accountability spreadsheet and your itemized list of stuff that you wanted to accomplish. I think that would be a good template for other people jumping in to follow. There's Niche Safari Chris. What is going on? Hey, Chris, I don't think I've seen in the accountability spreadsheet your goal for the month. Right now, there's still a gap. So this is me getting on you. Like, get in there, man. Fix that up. I also see 3 or 4 people in the spreadsheet right now. So folks, if you are in there, yes, we are still allowing more people to join. Carl jumped in today, which was pretty cool. I will note, though, that the goal area, that's where you put your stuff. So don't go down until like January 1st, 2nd, 3rd to put your stuff. Put it all in the goal section because like all the days are for the days for you to report back what you did. Anybody who had impacts from the Google update. It happens so frequently now that I can't even hardly bring myself to cover it because it just feels like making the same content over and over. Google is out to get us, and they have gotten us or not. I will just put the call out right now. Is anybody seeing any changes? And does anybody have thoughts yet about what exactly is happening or what they need to do differently? I will say that my sites have either been neutral or positive. I have one site that got hammered either earlier this year or last year that has recovered, which is great because I can still take advantage of some of the ad revenue for Q4. And then my case study site that I basically put down that got hammered in May the 4th is showing signs of pretty significant recovery of potentially 20 to 25% or more, which is exciting. Anybody else? Let's see. Anthony says his went up, similar amount. Lots of people lost traffic, but I had the opposite effect. Adrian says I see 15 to 20% increase on 2 sites. talking about Morton's course, Sue says she has not had a chance to do much on the course, but have been using WordPress Setup to go through the plugins and look at what Morton suggested. Jesse says that his traffic is up 20 to 30%. And then the spreadsheet. Paul says, on what day did the update come out? The 3rd and the 4th. I believe it started rolling out on the 3rd and then officially the 4th. Jana says neutral to negative. Sue says traffic dropped in half. It's like that sick feeling in your stomach, right? You're like, oh man, all that work. I think it may have to do something with the fact that I don't build links. I disagree because I don't build links really on purpose, and my site's had a positive boost. So I'm not as quick yet to say that it's link building or not. Haven't published there in a few months, so that might be that. I can only compare my experience, which is that I have not worked on some of these sites that had positive impacts. I see Jacob Karras in the chat today. That is unusual. Jacob is a good friend of mine out there in Australia. And I just have to shout out Jacob for, I want to say that you have hit the 7-figure mark in your business, in your funnel. And so I just want to give you a chance to confirm that. And so that we can all go, yay, or I'll get out the, you like my, this is fancy right here. This is what happens when you make the big time is you start using sound effects right there. Josh said that he had some up and some down. Jesse said the 4th. Josh said, keep swimming. That is exactly what we have to do. Other folks saying that they don't build links. Jesse says, I had one site getting 700 visits per day to about 100 per day, but the whole site was a fluke anyway. It doesn't affect me. And then Sue says, okay, good to know. It's certainly a sick feeling. Yeah, it sucks. Nobody likes it. But the thing is because this is a long game, it's going to happen. And if I had just quit on my case study site that got slaughtered on May the 4th, if I had just sold it, then I wouldn't be sitting here right now excited because that site is showing signs of recovery. And if I had just quit and I just stopped, then where would I be right now? All right, to the list, guys. I've got a lot to cover, and I don't want to spend your whole day sitting here waiting for me to do it. One, has anybody else checked on Motion Invest to see if any of John's sites are left? I want to say that I looked, and the health and wellness site is still up. Last week, it was for sale for $246,000, and I looked at it recently, and it was down to about in the 230s range. So we can see the Dutch auction because nobody has bought it. The price is coming down, and $15,000 is a pretty significant drop, even though it's not like maybe not into the range of where most people would be interested in buying it because the multiple is still so high, like in the upper 40s. But it's still showing us that if people hang on for a couple of weeks, that it might get into a range that is maybe more exciting. I would also note that the thing that strikes me about this site is that it only gets 12,000 visits a month, and it makes $5,000 a month. I mean, it only profits 4,500, but still you say, okay, I got to start a site and I have to have 1 million visitors a month, like millions of visitors a month to make a living. And that is not the case at all. Again, I've talked about the importance of going and following these sales. And there's so much to learn from these as far as perspective. When you want to get started, you don't have to make the aim. I mean, it's cool to think about having a site that has 1 million visitors a month, but that is not required to be able to make something that you could live off of. So just putting that out there. Next, for those of you who bought Morton's course through my link, I know there's a few of you. Some of you have reached out to me to set up your consulting, like your bonus coaching calls. But if you bought and I haven't reached out to you, it's because I maybe don't know that you bought through me. So just go to the email in here on my YouTube channel and send me a note and just let me know that you bought so that I can go check with Morton and make sure, because I don't want to leave you hanging. If you bought thinking that we were going to get to have a chance to talk, then I want to make sure that that happens. And I actually did one of these calls the other night with somebody I can call now a friend who's down actually in Australia. And we had a 2-hour call, and I cannot promise 2 hours because, that's just way more than I was expecting, but it was just such a great call. I looked up and I was like, holy cow, we've been talking for 2 hours. This is absurd. Checking the chat really quick. Jacob says, business overall, yeah, not one funnel yet, but soon. 4 o'clock in the morning is time for sleep. Still, 7 figures in a business, I still think is worth applauding if you're still here. Jacob. Otherwise, the rest of us can applaud you in your absence. Adrian says he's got another site hammered after the May the 4th algorithm around 50%. Now it's up 15%, and he hasn't done anything from May. So, I mean, nothing, no content, no links. So folks who are just sitting here like freaking out thinking, oh, it's because of this, or it's because of this, or because of this. That's not necessarily the case. And the reaction shouldn't be, one, quitting, two, or selling. It's just sometimes we just have to keep working and keep plugging away. Jumping into the chat, I see Next Gen. What's going on? Thanks for jumping on. Rick, what's going on? Gautam, how's Ezoic video ads doing? Any updates on the same? I haven't checked that today. What I reported last time was that I saw a 10% increase in the revenue on a post by post basis, but I honestly haven't had time to go and make more videos. That's the only thing that sucks, is that you have to make videos for it. And I have been really busy thinking about this new thing. And I guess that highlights again the problems of starting new projects, is that it's really hard to take care of the old projects. My bad. Jacob says, still here. Glad I caught you live. Yeah, it's kind of nice because I usually catch you live. So it's nice that it's a trade-off so that you could. And I just happen to be wearing the onesie today. That's right. And I am not ashamed to admit that I do live streams a lot wearing onesies. And not because of anything, but because I just like them. They're just comfortable. Rick says, did everyone update their WordPress? I didn't do it on purpose. SiteGround does it for me. And then on other ones, it has not happened yet. And I usually wait. So I haven't had any breakage yet. But has anyone else had WordPress update and then destroy everything? I would like to know. Janet says, updated last night. Jesse says, I did, nothing broke. Next Gen says 30% down as of yesterday, but good recovery today. So that is also a good point. So folks that are seeing massive changes up and down, this is like a wave of a rollout. And I feel like there's somebody back there like fine tuning things and adjusting things. And so you may see a huge spike or a huge drop, and then it may come back in the next couple of days or even week. And I definitely saw that. One of my sites had a huge spike up, and then 2 days later, and so it's not staying up here. It's went up and now it's like higher, but not as high as it went. Commit says, when is the interview with Nick coming out? What that means, what the background on that is that I did an interview last week with Nick Allen of 2 Hour Blogger. He's here on YouTube, and I've talked about him, I think, a little bit, and also shared his channel, and I talked to him, and the goal is Friday. Crap, that's the day after tomorrow. The goal is Friday. I have the podcast part set up, and I just have to do the intro for the video because I'm actually going to post it here. I really liked Nick. I just thought he was a really good example of what's possible. Not somebody who just did it overnight. I mean, he's somebody who spent a couple of years building his site and is now really enjoying the benefits of it. And I don't know, I just find those stories really inspiring. Anthony says his site updated automatically as well. Rick says updated all 9, all good, no breakage. Adrian says so far all good. And Jana says, do you know that onesies are the new fashion now? I did not know that, but that doesn't surprise me because I don't get out. I basically live in a box. Oh, next up, let's see. I want to talk about the accountability group. So I am looking over in it now, and we've got, I think, close to 20 people in there. I think it's just under 20. I was going to put a cap on it at 20, but I think it's just naturally going to happen. Now, here's the thing. I'm planning on doing a monthly, I guess this is like a whole kind of topic. I'm planning on doing a monthly video, like a progress video, because I find here on YouTube that those videos, those update videos, over 12 months or over 18 months are very, 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 very informative and helpful. So I'm planning on doing that. But what I would ask is for the people who are starting something new, whether or not they have a YouTube channel, to consider joining me in making an accountability video, a progress video, a part of the challenge. It's not going to be an official demand, but starting YouTube, it's become a really vital part of my experience and of my, what I want to put up my air quotes, my success, is having a community and having YouTube is a place to be accountable. And also, at the end of it, I have content there that is fairly valuable and it does work for me, even if I'm not, really hammering on affiliate offers or anything. Is just sharing the experience. And so that now that I've gotten enough subscribers, that content earns me ad revenue and it's passive and it falls within my overall brand. So I'm just wondering, is anybody out there, can I encourage them to jump in and do monthly update videos? Maybe we'll make a goal of everybody having their, January video, out within a week of the end of the month. Because if we did that, then one, we would have maybe 10 or 15 more people in our community who are posting monthly update videos. Two, just think about the resource that will add to our community for the people who are jumping in. There just aren't enough of these case study series videos. Usually you see one or two, or somebody's got a clickbait video. They're like $20,000 a month, and they don't have the in the trenches step-by-step progress to get there. And so it doesn't seem reachable or accountable. And so if you decide to do this, one, tell me, because I will help share that or promote that here and talk about it, because the more that we can get people to your videos, the more likely that your channel will grow. Positive YouTube metrics. And for people who have been thinking about starting a channel, this is a great time, because then we will have traffic that we can send to it, because otherwise you're just making content in a vacuum. You're just waiting for Google to find you. And that's not fun at all. Like, maybe we can help people get over that first initial hump of getting 50 subscribers or 100 subscribers. You're not going to get thousands of subscribers from this, but I don't know. I'm just going to put it out there. Olivera says, I have a 2-month-old site hit. Suddenly all impressions and positions went down. How can a 2-month-old site be hit? I have no idea. I have no idea how a 2-month-old site could have traffic. I know how, but it just, it seems like it's early for it to have anything to lose. So yeah, I totally get it. Any content writing service suggestions from Emilia or any of the other folks on chat? So I know there are a lot of folks that are using various options. Buy sell text right now is super hot. I talked to a lot of people who are using buy sell text. People are using iWriter or hiring folks off of Upwork. I think that right now people are saying not to go with ghost content or ghost writers. I forget who they were, but I think the prevailing recommendation is not to go with them right now. But anybody else who's in the chat, if they want to throw out the name of their favorite service provider, please do. That will help anyone. Essays Anytime says new subscriber, and I say welcome. If you are jumping in, then please tell us a bit about you and what you are working on, because it's great to know who you are. A lot of us know each other by now. Renat, what is going on? Tortoise Cashflow says he's going to continue making progress videos. Thank you, Anthony. Jana says that she will make videos. All right, there's a couple people. Renat says that he's got one site up, down 20%, and all the sites are up. All right, so, there's the big dogs. The big dogs are going to be out pretty soon as to what it is that they think will happen, and I probably will just follow what they think. I've been looking at the Google. I've been looking at analytics and just looking at the posts that shifted, and it's a little puzzling, to be honest. So I'm curious to see what they have to say. There's Alex. What's up, WP Eagle? I'm going to get the sound effects out. He says his Karen, so Karen writes for you, I think, right? He says Karen is a great writer, and that's a great way to maybe to experiment with hiring somebody direct, especially when it's coming from a recommendation. Chris says buy sell text is a good place to start. Olivera says no traffic. I mean impressions. I spent $1,000 on content. I don't know specifically what's going on there, and it's really too early to tell because it's only basically been a week. But with a 2-month-old site, it feels like there's a lot of time left to make something of it. Will says, what are your side hustles at the moment? It's like trying to decide, come up with them. Let's see. I do websites. I do Skillshare. So just making short courses and posting them for people to get to. It's totally hands off. I have a rental property. I have some titles on KDP. I have some affiliate sites. Did I already say websites? I do some like freelancing type work offline, basically just doing a little bit of everything and really becoming master of none of it. Anthony says Karen is a premium writer. Yeah, I guess that goes back to what it is that people are looking for. So if folks are looking for getting someone that they can get a lot of content for not a lot of cash, probably, well, I think you could probably contract with someone one-on-one to make that happen. It's just going to take some work and take some time and then testing, like letting them try and see how it works out. Actual Fluency says, I think her rate on public is Upwork and $50 for 1,000 words. That's 15, so $35 for 1,000 words. There you go. YouTube in 2021. So I guess I said that the accountability group topic was going to be kind of big because I'm going to make some changes here to the channel in 2021 based upon some of the things that I have been, I guess, consuming. Like the live streams, and what I think they've allowed me to do is become very lazy about creating other content, because I figure, oh, well, I don't have to create an actual video because this week I'm just going to do a live stream. And so since about October, I've really fallen off on creating content and just really leaned heavily upon live streams. And I don't necessarily think that it does good for the metrics on my overall channel because they're not evergreen. I mean, the content in them can be, right? Because we talk about evergreen topics. But I think that it's perceived by people who maybe cruise through the channel. It's like, oh, that's the live stream from September. So there's probably not much in there that I would want to go back and watch. And so those old videos, I don't think catch YouTube all that well, because I think the metrics over time just get worse and worse. So I'm just going to put this out there. This is going to happen and folks are going to have to react to it. But I'm going to set up a channel dedicated specifically to live streams. So folks who want to show up, on this Wednesday, I'm going to be moving it to the new channel. The upsides for the folks that are getting the new channel is that, one, it'll be ad-free as long as it takes for me to get there, at least until YouTube decides to run ads on my channel without my permission. But also then it will just be the folks who really are interested in just live streams, because I would like to see what sort of impact that has on the channel overall. And then it will also force me to create actual legitimate specific content for the main channel. So just putting it out there. Don't be surprised when you see me saying, okay, if you want live streams, they're going to be on this other channel. And don't be surprised if you come to this channel and after the December live stream. So I guess next week's stream with Chris and Fix and Mike from Below Average Blogger, that is next week. The live streams on this channel will stop and they will go to the new channel. And I'm pointing this way for no reason whatsoever, because there is no new channel and there's actually nothing over there but my kids' toys. I'm not sure why that happened. But the channel will be something like Emilia Gardner Live, just, like in caps. And I think the other good thing about it is that I may go live over there more often, especially through the accountability stuff, so that we can talk more about maybe some of the getting started issues or the website stuff, and just be around more often without my worry about killing or annoying my existing audience, because the people who want the live streams can subscribe to the live streams and they don't have to necessarily just, be inundated with the notifications on their phone, like, another live stream, another live stream. But I am going to put the case study or all of my website updates on this channel here. So if that's why you're here, that's what you will get. And if you want the live streams, then you will have to go over there, wherever that is, when I set up that channel. What else is going on in the chat? It is going on and I'm not paying attention to it. Space Monkey says, I'm not keen on onesies, but you look cute. Well, thank you. I'm going to put up the hood just for you. I've not considered starting a YouTube channel about my projects. I've started a few side projects in the last 6 months. I'll think about it. I just think now is a really good time. So folks who have been thinking about it or watching other people, and if you find yourself consuming content that are monthly updates, then maybe it's time for you to jump in and do it. Actual Fluency says, CoffeeZilla, another channel I follow, is doing exactly that. I think it's a good move. The reason he's doing it, and I saw that video, and I think Adrian, Hasta La Vista Boss, is doing the same thing, because he did an interview with Graham Stephan, and Graham Stephan was like, yeah, get your live streams off there. I think it's probably hurting the overall growth of your channel. And I consumed that video. So now we're connected up. We know exactly how we got there. I consumed that video and I'm going to try it. And if it turns out that nobody shows up to those live streams and nobody subscribes to that channel, then I will just come back and do them here. Problem solved. Experiment. Anthony says, love the live stream. Well, I love having you here, and we'll definitely be subscribing to the new channel. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, you can watch it happen and then make your decision whether or not it was a good idea by whether or not it totally flops. And if only a couple hundred people or a couple 10 people or a couple of people subscribe to it, then those are the people that are really interested in that content. And I'm not going to worry so much about the metrics on it. Let's see. Will is asking Tortoise Cashflow about his writers. And by the way, Anthony, I really do love that you jumped in. And I told you a couple days ago about that short that you had about that I was completely confused that it was funny. And I think I'm just old. I think that's why I don't understand. Actual Fluency says Graham Stephan is amazing. Totally recommend his YouTube course. I haven't actually talked to anybody who has gone through the course, and I've been curious about it, but I've been trying to avoid spending money on courses for a while. Am I MIA? Like, am I missing? Like, what's up? Alex says, have a live channel separate. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to create just a channel just for the live streams. And the reasoning behind it is that the live streams aren't evergreen. And so you'd want somebody who comes to your channel to scroll through and then select videos right there on maybe on your channel page, or maybe those videos come up in search and people are less likely to click on them because it's a live stream that's maybe not topic specific, because my live streams are just Wednesday live stream, like live stream Wednesday, without necessarily a topic. Like today we're going to do a webinar breakdown of niche selection, which is probably more evergreen than us just shooting the breeze, just talking, even though there is value in being here. I mean, let's just face it, we're here for the connection mostly. I mean, we're not changing the world in the live streams. Why would the live streams hurt your metrics? So basically, anytime YouTube shows you a thumbnail and somebody doesn't click on it, that's a signal to YouTube. You say, oh, and the ever adjusting positioning of your channel and whatever authority it assigns to it. Basically, anytime someone sees one of your thumbnails, they should click on it. And something about being a regular live stream show that isn't topic specific, people if they don't catch it when it happens or within a reasonable amount of time, if they were to look at the options in you think of your library of stuff, they're going to pick the most recent one. And they're probably not going to go back and watch all of the old ones. And what you would want to see is someone going to your channel and watching everything, period. So Will says, I feel like making a channel, but I'm a complete beginner with blogging. Should I just make one and make videos about my learning process? If you are comfortable with that, my vote would be yes. I mean, I don't know how many people watch my original first video here on YouTube, and it's cringeworthy and terrible, but people talk to me about it all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, I went back and watched your first video. And they say things like, you really didn't know what you were doing at all, did you? I was like, no, I'm kind of embarrassed about it, but it's great to be able to look back and see my progress. And yeah, sometimes people troll me about my technical expertise or my blogging expertise, but I don't care. See you later, Alex. Yeah, kids need bath. Yes, feel free to wash the children. Feel free to take care of the children. That's fine. It's people say, oh, well, I don't know what to make content about. And I think it goes back to Gary Vee's advice about documenting versus creating. And so rather than trying to create content for people like advice, it should be more about documenting. So here's what I did and here's what happened. And I find that content is really easy to make, especially for beginners, because you're not necessarily worrying about, trying to advise people, is this the right thing to say? Is this good? When you're documenting, it doesn't matter. It's just, this is what happened to me. And then people can learn from it what they want. Jesse says, make a channel. He says he searches for beginners channels to follow personally. He likes watching them. Will says, I heard live streams don't hurt your channel's status and analytics if you private them. The only thing about that is that you don't get watch time from them if you private them. So if you're trying to grow your channel to the 4,000 watch hour mark, then private videos, they don't count. And that's a bummer. And that's why I initially started live streaming, is because I wanted to get to that mark sooner, and it really helped a lot. Josh says, I argued that they are just as likely if you focus on something on them. Well, it's an experiment. I'm just saying. Sue said, did you guys see CoffeeZilla stream with Graham Stephan? They talked about live streams. Yep, that's exactly what we're talking about. And that is exactly why I'm trying this. And I know that I think it's Josh who's always after me about reminding me that well, Google will figure it out is basically what he says, and he's right. He's right. But I just want to try stuff anyway. I just want to try it. Alexander says, "Hey, what's up?" He say, "Thanks for jumping in. What's going on?" Will says, "What advice would you give to a blogger just starting out?" And my answer would be to start, first of all, because I think a lot of people get stuck in the analysis paralysis mode. My experience was I didn't start getting better at anything until I started making mistakes, until I started doing things wrong, because that's when I learned from it. And for me, that's what was necessary. I had a really great coaching / consulting call this last week, and we talked about failure. And, one of the things was, well, what if the site doesn't succeed? Like, what if it doesn't go anywhere? And I said, well, why do we have this idea that failing at this is something bad? They're like, oh, well, it means that I won't have made my money, that I won't have a chance to quit my job because this is a failure. So, well, this is a business. This isn't like a windfall, like a lottery. Like for us, a lot of us, it doesn't happen the first time. And if it does, then you are either really smart or previously experienced or a lucky son of a gun. So yeah, I just think that starting and trying things out and not spending all your life consuming other people's advice because you feel like you need to get to some sort of critical mass of knowledge, like that's not going to happen because I'm 2 and some years down the road and I'm still learning, and that's not going to change except that I know that much more from where I was 2 years ago. I think everybody saw Graham Stephan's stream. Josh says, when we're talking about Google, he says, exactly. People need to stop trying to game the system. Losing out view time on your main channel isn't always effective. Yeah, I'm going to try it because I just want to know. And frankly, having people who really want to participate in the live streams in one place, like that just might be better or not. But you know what? You guys are going to watch it happen. And if it totally flops and fails, then you can learn from my mistakes, from my experience. Sue stole my answer, which was for Chris. It says it comes down to people being less likely to watch the live stream after. Boom. There we go. And around people not clicking on them if they show up in search. Boom. That basically, thank you, folks, for saving me the trouble. So yep. So again, next week's live stream will be the last one on this channel, at least for the near future. And then look for the accountability, the blast. I will make sure to put it in the description of next week's video on the 16th. And I was going to ask Chris for the stream for next week. What are we wearing? Because this was Chris's idea for us to do the stream next week with Fix, and then I just invited Mike because I can because it's on my channel. But are we like, because I have this onesie, are we gonna do like holiday theme? Do I need some sort of hat? Please let me know in advance because I need to have a chance to get that. Real quick, for folks who are adding their second or third sites to Ezoic, I've never had an issue with additional sites that were previously approved on AdSense because I had always had some ads already on the page, and then we just wrapped those ads. So there was still activity in my AdSense dashboard on those particular sites. But one of the sites that I added earlier this year had no existing AdSense units. I just took them all off and just went straight with Ezoic. Well, I got a notification in my AdSense dashboard that they were going to disable that site for inactivity and that I would need to have it reassessed and reviewed to be able to get it active again. And it turns out the solution to that is enabling mediation for that particular site. And so I emailed support. It's like, hey, I already have my AdSense account hooked up and I already have mediation hooked up. And they're like, nah, it's site specific. So basically the day that I went and actually set it up so that the mediation option in my Ezoic monetization panel was set up. It took care of the notification in my AdSense dashboard right away. So if you see that, don't freak out. Just make sure that you check that mediation is enabled on every site so that you can take care of that so it's not an issue. Let's see. Chris says he's got a Santa hat and ugly Christmas sweater. I don't think I have any ugly Christmas sweaters, but this could be a good opportunity to go get one or make one. I bet I can make something uglier. Sue says she's got a Santa hat and some booze. See, the nice thing is that for the folks that are in the UK, it's the evening time, so you could join us with a drink. In the morning here, I'm stuck with coffee. Comments for Alex, who's bathing his kids right now, suggesting Karen. The one thing about Alex, I think, is that once he forms relationships with people, like it's in, like he is, I don't know if loyal is the right word. I mean, I would say loyal, but he's just really good about his community and about caring about the people in it. And it's something for the rest of us to just watch, like how he cares for the people in his community. Oh, I was going to crowdsource the Start a New Site project for the accountability group and starting in January. It needs a name because for the folks that are going to start YouTube channels or create content around this particular project, I want to name them so that if I see these posts come through, I want to know like, oh, hey, I want to click on this. And I don't want to call it the niche site project because obviously that title, that's a brand, first of all, and then other people are using it. And so, I mean, I don't want to call it like Build With Me or Build With Us or Accountability Project. I was trying to think of something good to call it. And for folks who are watching this on the replay, or if you're in the live stream now, I could really use some help because I will basically create 12 months of content using this name. I don't want to call it like my new site in 2021 because, and plus if everybody is making content around this project, then those of us who are working on this project will know like, oh, hey, that is 2021. I just started a new site video. Make the internet great again. An MIGA. MIGA. Well, I'm going to write that down. Nobody will understand it but us. It'll be like a super secret, like Fight Club. Like you only know it if you're in it. Anybody else? Well, e.g. website projects. Okay, I'm going to write that down. But that only works for, well, I can't imagine like Chris, like calling his the EG site project. Oh, if you guys think of something, let me know. I'm going to continue to crowdsource this. I'm going to basically be asking everybody, like, let's find something to call this because I need something. The last thing I wanted to check in with folks, especially those of you who are in the accountability group, is who and what are you doing to get ready for January and to get started? For me, what I have been doing is trying to clear out my distractions for January. So I have the podcast, I have YouTube, and those things prevent me from getting work done on my sites. And so what I'm doing right now in the month of December is recording all of my content for January and as much of February as I can for the podcast. And so I'm focusing on interviews again, but trying to do interviews that will do pull double duty for the YouTube channel. This YouTube channel, which I'll be posting on in addition to live. So I am adding an extra video or two a week to my regular live stream. So more stuff, but I'm trying to front load the work by doing it now so that I can use January to really focus on meeting my goals and not get distracted, which is a problem that I have all the time. So I'm definitely, you're going to be seeing a lot of interviews in the month of January, but they will probably be interviews from this community. So they will be more specific to folks who are making money online with websites rather than some of the content that I have been putting out on the podcast lately, which is, really interesting discussions with people, but not necessarily website focused people. So again, I've been kind of doing what I want on the podcast, which has been fun, but, not necessarily always like directly relevant to websites. So I'm just going to focus on that kind of content in January and February so that I can repurpose that content. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm also doing my niche research and my keyword research. And I'm actually, for the first time ever, before I buy the domain, before I go down the road of spending any money or writing any content, I'm actually sitting down and planning out the initial articles. I know this is a big deal for me because usually I'm just like a plug and play, like let's go. But I'm actually setting up the site architecture. Oh my God, did I just say that out loud? Basically, I've just made myself a document and I'm actually just trying to visually put it together. But because one of the things I want to actually do for the first time from the beginning is identify which things are going to be linked to what. And I've never done that from the beginning. Normally it would be done after the fact, and I would just be trying to figure out what should go to what, and can I link this to that or whatever, or should I create more content around this so that I can link something to it? And I'm going to do it the opposite way for the first time. And this also was something that has come up recently. Well, in the last year, there's been a lot of chatter about interlinking and the importance of it. And I think what we're seeing is that it is important. But I've never really had the opportunity to start from the beginning to really create something that's a lot more organized. And in one of my coaching calls this last week with a really delightful gentleman, one of the things that we did was just sat down and say, okay, let's pick this topic and then see, what are the articles that you plan to write underneath there? And then look at the keywords that you have already come up with, and do they fit in these topics? And if you have keywords that you think are great, but that you can't link to anything else, or that aren't anything that necessarily fits in there, then maybe that's not a keyword that should go in there. Or maybe that's an article that should come later when you find its place for it in your site. So I guess I think that will be a lot of what I talk about in the first update video, is just being more deliberate and what specifically I'm doing to be more deliberate, and also to not necessarily set myself up to be overwhelmed. So just biting things off in chunks and actually planning things out in the hope that it will make it much easier to create and order the content that I want to order in batches, rather than just sort of flying by the seat of my pants, which is pretty much what I do all the time. Other people said Gardner's Grafters, EGG project, the egg project. Oh, okay. The egg project. Got that. What about the corn broad bean website project? Because we are good eggs. The egg project actually sounds kind of cool. Chris says, so going with MIGAs, to make the internet great again. I'm torn. I like them both, actually. Anthony says, that's too organized. I plan my keywords before picking a domain, but as far as interlinking, I just do as I go. Using Link Whisper makes it easier. Yeah, and that's the joy of it, right? Is we can all do things as best as we can. I think I've swung way far to the disorganized side. One, because I just wanted to write a lot of content, right? I just wanted to publish a lot. And so I just did, but it wasn't always very organized. And then I also bought some sites from Empire Flippers that were on that same model, which had a lot of content, but it's hard to interlink things. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily fit in with anything else besides being on the broad overall topic. It was just hard to make internal links between the posts. So I'm just going to experiment. What is it like to do it from the other side and making something very organized? And maybe it doesn't work. Maybe I'm silly for trying it, but you know what? That's the joy of working for myself. I can do whatever I want. Well, everybody, I'm super excited for next week's live stream. I really hope you will come and harass us. The plan, as I believe, and Fix isn't here, so we can say whatever we want about him right now. And Mike isn't here either, and I don't know if they'll watch this on the stream, but it's to talk a bit about what happened in 2020 and then to look forward to 2021. And I have been talking one-on-one with a lot of people in this community about goals for 2021. And I really think it's important to make goals and put them out there, and just say them and speak them and talk to other people about them. Is it going to make it happen, me just saying that I want to make so much money a year? And no, because last year I made lots of goals that totally didn't happen, right? I basically failed in every way that I could possibly fail for 2021 if you looked at my goals for last year. But Job says 2021, a new hope. That's actually a really good one. I'm going to write that down. A new hope. And it fits right into this topic, right? I can start every year with a new hope that I will spend the year, working towards these goals that are probably an overreach and super lofty, and maybe I won't get there, but I've chosen to look at failing and not as a negative thing, right? There's nothing wrong with setting lofty goals and just being okay with working your butt off and not getting there. Maybe some people would look at that as a reason to stop, and I'm just choosing to not look at it that way. Will says, do I need any tools for keywords or content creation? I'm just using Google search suggestions to find underserved topics, doing response posts, etc. Everybody's going to have a different opinion on that. For the most part, I don't use a lot of tools. I will do the $7 Ahrefs trial and then grab whatever it is that I think is good out of there that I can acquire in 7 days under the plan. And then after that, I think you can do it without it. But again, this comes back to everybody's got their own opinions. Some people do use keyword tools, and some people just rely upon the Google auto suggest and then, actually searching and seeing what pops up. I hope that we will all agree that it is not necessary to spend hundreds of dollars in a year to use a keyword tool to get started. That's something that maybe when you get down the road, you will find that you like to use. But in the beginning, I'm going to take the position that an expensive keyword tool is not required. Now, come for me in the comments. Like come for me. I'll fight you on that. I don't think people should be spending thousands of dollars in the beginning. Fight me if you disagree. Anthony says, it's always good to test new things and see what happens. I agree. Renat says, 2020 was my best year ever. You know what? 2020 was a dumpster fire in so many ways, but I grew so much in 2021. I was looking back to where I was a year ago. I had maybe 400 or 500 subscribers on this channel at that time. I wasn't live streaming. I didn't know anybody one-on-one. Just, man, it was an amazing year. Of course, I didn't achieve any of my goals, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't amazing. Chris says, a new hope. Will says, thanks. Jada says, I use Google Search Console for suggestions. See, there are many ways to find keywords, and there isn't just one way. And that is also the joy of being a part of community, because you can see that everybody does it a little bit different and still finds a way to make it work for them. But yeah, in the next week for the new site, I'm not going to buy the domain yet because I haven't decided if I'm going to go brand new or if I'm going to hunt for an expired domain. But I have decided on my niche. I have decided. And so that's already in my goal for month of January. So I have decided on the niche, and I am doing keyword research right now, but I want to have a lot of the stuff set up before I buy the domain, which is the opposite of what I normally do. Because normally I buy the domain first and try to create everything from that. I'm trying it different. I am making use of the assets that I have. So I have access to Morton's course. So I'm going through that. And then I also have Affiliate Lab. And so I'm also going through the initial modules on that course again, even though I watched them a year ago when I got the thing, but I'm going through them again just to remind myself of things, and so that I'm just better set up to actually be successful with this newest project. Guantam says, I totally agree. Don't buy keyword tools. Just use free Uber Suggest to get ideas. I mean, any of the free options will get you started. Anthony says, is it the onesie niche? It is not. I have not actually analyzed that niche for competition. I have had some suggestions lately. People say, oh, well, you should get this one, or I should wear this one in live streams. And I may consider investing in a new onesie in the near future. I did kind of make a joke about setting up a PO box so that if people wanted to send me some appropriate ones, that I would wear them in live streams, but I'm not going to be like making the call out for people to send me onesies, especially because you never know what will be sent from people who like lurk on these streams. I'm not going to promise to wear whatever people mail me. Will says he's documenting his blog progress on Twitter. I talked to Luke Jordan last week, and he also uses Twitter a lot. And it turns out he has gotten several of his deals, the sites that he has bought through Twitter, like a one-on-one deal. And I would have not have thought of Twitter as the place to be to find deals, to find websites to buy. I just would have thought of Facebook or, YouTube, like crowdsourcing here. But he's been finding some of his deals on Twitter, which is cool. Onesie niche is a bit seasonal. Sure, I guess so. I guess I wear them in the winter for the most part, but when it's winter here, it's summer somewhere else, and then vice versa. So maybe you'll get different traffic from different parts of the world depending upon where it's cold. Anthony says, get a tortoise onesie. Well, like I said, if people really want me to wear their brand, that's one thing. Like this space right here, I haven't had anybody inquire yet to market this space right here. I've been waiting for somebody to send me some merch or to pay for this space right here, or even up here, like a hat. If you want me to promote your brand by just wearing it on the stream, I might have to wait for another couple 100,000 subscribers before that will happen. Will says, Twitter has some great communities in every niche. The onesie project. Oh boy. If I do start a site focused on onesies, that's what I will call it. In fact, that'll be the domain name, is the onesie project. All right, folks. Well, we are getting close to the top of the hour. I see there's 27 folks in there, so I'm going to ask you for a like button smash before we log off. If there are any questions or anything else that I can handle before we go, I'm happy to hit them. But otherwise, I will be looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday for our end of the year holiday special. Roder says, just missed your stream. Yep. Every Wednesday, same time, 10 o'clock Los Angeles, whatever that converts to, wherever you are. Anthony, you're a good egg, basically. Maybe we will call it the egg project because you hit like before it started. Thank you so much, everyone. As always, it's a pleasure to speak with you, and I look forward to talking with you again soon. All right.